Every day Sujan knocks on Van's door to pick her up so they can go to the office together. Today was no difference. Sorry, Sujan come in. She smiles, but it's a fake smile. Sujan also forces a smile. As she enters, she sees Mr. and Mrs. Mann sitting there, which explains Yuri's polite behavior. Sujan, hello mom, dad. She greets them and they smile back. Mr. and Mrs. Mann, hello dear. Sujan, where is Van? Mr. Mann, is Van not ready yet? He asks his wife, who looks confused. Mrs. Mann, I don't think so, as she hasn't even come down for breakfast yet. Sorry, mom, dad, she hasn't woke up yet. I think she's still recovering from last night hangover. She glances at Sujan. Sujan, who dropped wine of last night? I mean, she came back early from the party, but I don't remember clearly who she was with. Who bought her? Suri, the person who dropped wine off, said his name was Young. Suri says this disinterestingly, causing Sujan's eyes widen. Sujan, what? She asks in shock. Mrs. Mania, he said he is a friend from Vine's office. Sujan, friend, are you sure he is our boss, the CEO of the company? This made everyone's eyes and mouth widen in shock. Sorry. Oh, that's why he looks familiar. I have seen him on TV and internet, she says, shocked. Mr. Manhuman heard your boss and the CEO of layover company dropped one off last night. Suji not multiple times. So genius because you mentioned his name was Young and Seori quickly searches his name and shouts. Seori, that same, she says, showing Young's photo on her phone to everyone. Sujan, I can't believe it. Seori, seriously, she didn't go on a date with Chairman last night because she was spending time with her boss. Sujan, I'm sorry, Seori, but she was at the party with us. And yes, Wine and I are close to Mr. Kim because of business, and I'm his executive assistant and she is his manager. Seori, anyways, I think she doesn't want to go to the office today. Mrs. Mann, Seori, sweetie, go and check if she is awake. Seori nods and starts to head towards Vine's room. As a few minutes later, she comes back. Mrs. Mann, what happened? Is Vine still not up? Seori, no mom, she has a high fever, so I didn't wake her up. Mrs. Mann, what? Oh my god, I will go to her. Mr. Mann, I will call a doctor. Sujan, mom, dad, please take care of Vine. I will inform Mr. Kim about her condition and let him know she won't be coming in today. They nod and Sujan left at Taeyang's office. Sujan enters Taeyang's office, knocking softly before stepping inside. Taeyang looks up, his expression cold and deters. Taeyang, without looking up, what is it, Sujan? Sujan, professionally, good morning, sir. I'm here to inform you that Miss Van won't be able to come to work today. She has a high fever and needs rest. Taeyang's expression remains stoic, and there's a flicker of concern in his eyes that he quickly hides. Taeyang coolly, is that so? I hope she recovers soon. Make sure her tasks are resigned for the day. So Genius, I will take care of it. She hesitates for a moment. If you would like, I can keep you updated on her condition. Taeyang briefly, that would be necessary, just ensure that work proceeds smoothly. Sujan nods and leaves the office. As the door closes, Taeyang leans back in his chair. The office party was full and swing. Wine had a few times drink. Taeyang, despite his usual aloof demeanor, had been keeping eye on her. When it was clear she couldn't make it home on her own, he reluctantly offered to drive her. The ride was struggle with Vine's truck and trembling filling the silence of the car. Vine giggling, you know, Mr. CEO, you are not that scary as everyone thinks. Taeyang remained silent. When they finally reached her house, he gently helped her inside. Back to the present, Taeyang shakes off the memory, trying to refocus on his work. However, the image of Van Flush's face and playful smile keeps intruding. His fiancée, someone he had agreed to marry for his emotional blackmail parents and business reasons. Taeyang muttering to himself, why does it bother me so much? Despite his cold exterior, Taeyang can't help but feel a pang of worry for Vine. He picks up his phone and scrolling through his contacts, hovering over Vine's number. Then for me to find himself focus on work, but the concern in his heart lingers, a constant reminder that his feelings for while might Then spoke, then come in, I said, and my trusted man Yonjan sat in front of me. Yonjan was have found all the details, he said, placing a file in front of me. Then, who is he? I asked coldly. Yonjan was he is her. My eyes widened. I was right, Yonjan, and she is cheating on you, boss. Tiang, how do you know, Yonjan? Because they were in the public place, he said, and now I understood why she didn't want to make public appearance as my fiancé. Tiang, do you have proof? He nodded and handed me an envelope. I opened it and inside were photos of them. My jaw clenched. She is cheating on me. She will pay dearly for this. Later at home, entering my house, I was seething with anger. My parents were sitting in the living room. Then I won't marry her, I declared, my voice trembling with rage. My parents looked at me, stunned and then furious. Mr. Kim, what nonsense is this, young? Han Jiwan's parents are my best friend. This marriage has been arranged since you two were born. Young, I don't care about your friendship or your arrangement. Look at this. I threw the photos on the table, my hands shaking with worry. She has been cheating on me. My parents picked up the photos, shock spreading across their face. They exchanged glances, and I could see the wheels around in their heads. Mrs. Kim, this must be mistaken. Jiwan would never do such a thing. She is just his best friend. Young, best friend would kiss your best friend like that in public? Mr. Kim, calm down, Young. You are overreacting. Young, overreacting. I have proof right here. How can you ignore this? Mrs. Kim, these photos must be fabricated. You are trying to get out of this marriage, aren't you? They admit it. Young, why would I fabricate this? Why would I go such a length if it's foreign through? Mr. Kim, enough. His voice boomed through the room. You will marry Jiwon and that's final. Think about our families, relationship and business alliance. Young, I refuse to marry someone who is unfaithful. I won't do it. My father's face turned with anger. The tension in the room was palpable. He stood up. Mr. Kim, you don't have a choice in this matter, Young. This marriage has happened whether you like it or not. Young, I do have a choice and I chose not to marry her. The argument grew louder and more heated. My mom tried to calm things down, but it was no use. My father's patience finally snapped. He raised his hand and slapped me hard across the face. The room was silent. The sting of the slap echoing in the Mr. Kim, you will marry Jiwon, he said, his voice low and dangerous. You will honor family commitments. I stood there, my cheek burning with my anger and frustration, verbal still boiling inside me. Young, look at these photos, I said, my voice trembling. Look at them and tell me she is not cheating. My parents looked at the photos again, their expression a mix of disbelief and anger. My mother finally spoke, her voice cool and dismissive. Mrs. Kim, these photos means nothing. Jiwan is lying to you. You must have arranged to scam the marriage. Then why would I do that? Why would I lie about something so serious, Mom? Enough of this. You will marry her and that's the end of it. We are given a word and you will honor it. I felt trapped like a caged animal. Despite evidence, my parents refused to see the truth. The emotional blackmail and the weight of the expectation pressed down on me, leaving me with no way out. Mrs. Kim, think about everything we have sacrificed for you. Think about our family and our future. Your dad and I also got married in a similar way. Look at how happy we are today. My dear, she is the best match for you. Why don't you understand? I looked at their determined face and realized I had no choice. The betrayal from Jion and the lack of support from my parents left me defeated. Fine, I said, my voice hollow. I will do it. But inside I was breaking. The betrayal and the lack of support from my parents were almost too much to bear. I know I had to find a way to deal with this, but for now I was stuck in a cage of expectation and obligations. Next day, I woke up the next day still swimming with anger. I couldn't believe my parents were forcing this marriage on me despite evidence. As I got ready for the work, I made up my mind to avoid them. I was in the mood for not breakfast or any kind of interaction. Just I was about to leave, my mom called me out in an usually sweet voice. Down dear, aren't you going to have breakfast? I turned around shocked by their behavior. Why they acting as if nothing had happened? My father sat on the table reading the newspaper while my mother busied herself in the kitchen. I clenched my fist. Mrs. Kim, Jeevan will come to your office with lunch today, she said, her tone cheerful. If you won't spend some time together, you might start liking each other. Then, muttering to myself, liking each other, my foot. I didn't want to see that cheater's face, not now, not ever. But I simply nodded at my mother and left the house without any word. In the car, as I drove to the office, my frustration only grew. This marriage was nothing but a forced arranged marriage. There was no way I would accept Jeevan as my wife. Then, muttering to myself, this marriage is just forceful. I will never accept her as my wife. At the office, I arrived at the office. My mind is still reeling from the morning's event. I usually cold and menu was now tinged with barely concealed rage. I walked into my office, slamming the door behind me. My assistant Sujan looked at me from her desk. Sujan, good morning sir, is everything alright? Dunk, no Sujan, everything is not alright. I snapped immediately, regretting my harsh tone. I'm sorry, just a rough morning. Dunk, give me update about the schedule and his fine side improved. Did she come in today? I asked, feeling a sudden concern. Sujan, yes sir, she is feeling better and has come in today. She is catching up on her pending work. Dunk, okay, but make sure she didn't work herself. I mean, she was unwell, so she shouldn't be under too much pressure. Sujan, sure sir, I will tell her. I nodded, feeling a strange relief wash over me. Dunk, make a cup of tea for me and tell Wine to come here before lunch. I want to review some management files with her. Sujan nodded and left to get the tea. I settled into my chair, my thoughts drift into one. Why did I feel this way? My life was a mess with this forced marriage. Yeah, thinking about one. Not a small sense of calm. I tried to push those thoughts away, focusing on the work in front of me. Sujan brought a tea and I snapped it slowly, trying to clear my mind. Soon after, there was a knock on the door. Why, you wanted to see me, sir? She asked, stepping into the room. She looked healthier, though still a bit tired. Dunk, yes, fine, I need to go over some management files with you. I gestured her to sit down. Once sat down, her demeanor professional yet kind. As she reviewed of the files, I found myself glancing at her more often than necessary, noticing the small signs of fatigue. Dunk, Miss Vine, if you need to take breaks, do so. Don't push yourself too hard. Vine, thank you, sir, I will fine, she replied, smiling softly. Her smile stirring something in me, something I couldn't quite understand. We continued working, and for a brief moment, I forgot about Jeevan. Vine, Mr. Kim, I wanted to apologize for last night. I mean, I called you my dog. Her cheeks turned pink with embarrassment. Seeing her like this makes me want to smile and laugh, but I control. And I asked teasingly, she lowered her head even more. Wine, and made you drop me at my home forcefully by calling you. I mean my baby dog. She stammers, avoiding my eyes. Dunk, it's okay, Miss Wine. You don't need to apologize. I suddenly recalled the past when Wine plunged to me, and the restaurant manager said she is my wife. Dunk, smirking. By the way, do you make a habit of calling people a strange name when you are? Wine, her blushing depends and she looks even more frustrated. No. Dunk, leaning back in his chair, crossing his arm. Interesting, because I've never had an employee call me before. Should I expect it more? Wine, her eyes wide in panic. But then she gathers a bit of courage. Only if you insist on being so memorable, Mr. Kim. Then caught off guard, he feels his cheeks turn slightly pink, while noticing his blush and feeling a bit braver. Yes, you definitely left my impressions, but don't worry. Then clearing his throat, trying to regain his composure. That would be best. We wouldn't want any misunderstand. While smiling softly, of course. Tongue softens slightly though he's still teasing. Just doing my duty as responsible. And love. Lightly, I will do my best.